Now, as a channel, re-enthused covers several retro different types of categories of things, including obviously retro computers, retro consoles and gaming and toys. So now, thanks to VTech and Bandai, we've got some products which kind of gap all three. So here we are, or rather, here they are, several versions of the Super Note Club, and obviously for the time, and these were made for a fairly long period of time actually. So I'm dating from just the ones I own. This one was 95, and this one at the far end was 98. This one being 96 in the middle here, and yeah, for that time we have these ones which were very much marketed at girls, and this one which actually literally is called the Super Note Club for boys. So I will assume that this did not go over well with boys for whatever reason, and so they had to make a version that explicitly said for boys. And they didn't just go with the machines as well. Some of the games were blatantly more blue coloured for the boys ones, and even down to the paper. So yeah, so we have our printer here, which is the Super Note Club printer, and you can see that they were very much differently marketed versions of the paper as well. Which isn't always just because they literally expect you to buy that paper, even though it's the same stuff for one or the other. But some of the paper actually was tied into the game, so the background of the paper would be images from certain games and things like that. So there was some reason for it. And yeah, these were released in Japan as the Super Note Club by Bandai. But yeah, so if we get the box out, we can see Bandai is written all over this, but these are in fact made by much more well-known educational computer creator, VTech, Video Technologies, and these were marketed elsewhere as Genius or or Genius Legend. There's several Genius different versions of the name in other countries, but they're largely the same machine. But the reason why we're looking at the Japanese ones, other than they're a lot cheaper to buy, is because they had a lot more interesting games and things that were available, and they really are. Some of them are really quite inventive. So yeah, you've just got the standard, just normal games, which is just a normal cartridge. If I quickly go into this, yeah. So these ones, all we've got in here, we just got a standard cartridge, which just go on the side, and also the manual. So this is Detective Conan. Okay, don't know what that is, but fine. And yeah, the cartridge is just a standard cartridge, which would go into any machine, of course, just because this was blatantly marketed more as a blue game. It will still fit into this older, non-male oriented version of the Super Note Club just fine, and it will work just fine. But then there are slightly more inventive games as well, like as this one, which yeah, it's pink, so we kind of assume it's marketed more at girls. So if we go into this one, yeah, so we've got our manual, which is a very similar style to the other one. But if you look at the cartridge itself, it's much larger, and that's because if we take this out of the wrapping, yeah, so this is, although it's kind of hard to see on the screen because the batteries are also dying, they've been there for quite a long time. This is actually kind of a Tamagotchi as well. As well as, yeah, if we take the base off, there we go, it's a normal cartridge too. So this will work out of the system when it's got charging the batteries, but also inside the system as a normal cartridge, which is kind of nice and inventive, I think. Right, so about the machines themselves. So yeah, so we've got three different models here. These two are largely the same. I mean, exactly the same footprint. Let's just move these to one side. There we go. And if we open them up, which you do with two little hinges at the side, kind of like old IBM laptops, I guess. And we'll just bring this forward a little bit. So they are largely the same, with the same kind of setup, the same as little keys here. Yeah, the directional keys here, which are used to move around in menus, start games, and fire buttons, which shows kind of the console side of these things. Very similar screens, although the one big difference is this screen is definitely gone on this one. This screen seems to be alright at the moment. I'll get back to that in a second. There's yeah, an interesting one about that one. And yeah, just you can see they're very similar. They're basically the same machine, although this does have some advances. And over here is where the cartridges go in. On the back, let's see, as you can see we've got the printer there. So if we go to the back of this, you'll see. Whoop. There we go. On the back of this, we have a printer port there, and a DC jack, which is really useful. There's batteries on the bottom. It takes 4 C-cell batteries, so kind of not the biggest, but not the smallest. And yeah, that's really good. And this one, I thought, basically the way I'd run this is I'd be powering the laptop off of a DC adapter, and then I can use the batteries, which is the same number of batteries, same type of batteries, in the printer for the printer. Unfortunately, it kind of turns out that in the year between this one was released and this one was released, they decided to add in the DC power port. So this one's got it, this one's got it. This one doesn't have it, and this is obviously the one I said is the one that works best with the best screen. So yeah, that was slightly annoying. We have improvised. So the reason why I'm not moving this one is because it basically has, well, let's be honest, some wires jammed haphazardly into the battery contacts. Don't do this at home, folks. So actually, you know what you can do at home. Just be careful. So this is being powered from a DC voltage adapter now, just a normal USB 5-volt one. Just on the battery contacts, 5 volts is fine. The batteries it uses are normally 6 volts, but 5 volts is close enough. That's being powered off of the 4 C cells, and these two can be powered off the 9 volts or the 4 C cells, which is good. Right, I guess this one, which I guess we'll call the junior model. It's a much different layout, although you can see it's got all the same controls, so it can do the same stuff, of course. It's now got soft on and off buttons rather than a giant switch. It's still got all of the same features, it's just in a much more compact thing. And this is a surprisingly good keyboard, I will say, for a small children's toy. As you can probably see here, let's get a bit closer so you can see. So this is something that plagues a lot of these LCD screens, is the screen rot. You can replace the polarizing film and it will probably fix it, but that's one of the issues these things will deal with. And you can see me quite clearly on that screen. And say this one seems to be doing alright. This one has no outward sign of an issue, but the screen doesn't display properly. So yeah, it's probably a contact problem. It's probably fixable again. It may need resoldering. It may have got to have some dry solder joints where the LCD connects. That's sometimes the case with these things. But anyway, let's. I guess we try to play some stuff on it. I don't know how well this is going to work because it's all in Japanese, so I don't know exactly how to do stuff. But we'll try, and we'll try to get the printer printing. Why not? I know the printer works because I can run the self-test, which maybe is what I'll end up doing if I can't work out how to make a print. Right, back in a sec. Okay, this is the best I can do. I've got a studio light like right up here. You can just see my reflection just here, literally right in front. So yeah, I don't know how well this is going to work, but let's find out. As we turn it on, you'll get kind of a burst of the opening theme. I quite like that, it's quite funny. Yeah, so these are all the built-in functions. We don't have a cartridge in at the moment. So these are just basic kids learning stuff. So some addition, subtraction, I guess, geography, alphabet, a music theme, which has got like a mini keyboard on it as well. That's pretty cool. That's time, obviously, and that's another game involving numbers. We get more options, so we can go across and hit the fire button, and we get more stuff. So yeah. Slightly more complex, we've got multiplication, division, combination of it all. I guess that's hardest questions. I guess a drawing thing, I don't know, maybe that's something we can use the printer on, so we'll give that a shot. And that's like another block game. It's like the old matchsticks game. And this blank square here, over here, that would be where we would see the cartridge if it were plugged in. Yeah, and that happens every few seconds as well. I'm going to turn the printer on. There we go. Just to see if we can get the printer working. That would be kind of cool. So this is obviously some kind of journaling thing, which makes sense, you know, we've got a full keyboard here. May as well. I haven't tried the keyboard on this one, actually. There we go. It's not terrible. It's a bit odd, but I've used worse keyboards on actual machines. Yeah, so that's good. I wonder, how do we print it? That's the question. I don't know. What buttons can we use here? That didn't work. Do any of these buttons? Maybe there's this function. Oh, there we go. Okay, that kind of tells us what functions do. What if we hit function P? Oh no, that didn't work. That wasn't good. I don't see anything that kind of says, hey, print. It may be telling us to do stuff, I don't know. I mean, if we hit... Well, they're just really nice noises, I guess. There's that button, which does nothing. Control P. Oh! Control P did something! Wait! So, I mean, yeah, you can kind of see. It's not coming out well. I thought these were thermal printers. It feels like thermal paper. I used to work in EPOS solutions, so I recognise thermal paper when I feel it. But maybe not. Maybe not. Or it just needs aligning. Who knows? But anyway, yes, so that works. The printer works. And literally just Control and P. That's effectively like a normal machine. Right, so I think what we'll do is we'll put a cartridge in. So we'll put in Inspector Cone. It says dropping Inspector Cone on the floor. Interestingly, it's a transparent, well, translucent cartridge. So you can kind of see through. We see the ROM chip there and everything. That's kind of sort of interesting. We put them in. They've got like the sleeve, so it's really well made for kids. So there's this plastic sleeve over the contacts, and it's spring loaded. So when it's pushed in, that's pushed back, which is a very good idea. So that slots in there. And now if we turn it on again, we'll get the intro music again. So now if we go there, now at the end we see this cartridge symbol here. So if we click on that, it will now run the software from the cartridge. Look at that, that's quite impressive really. I'm going to assume that this is based on an anime. Obviously, famously, I know nothing about anime, so I'm sure someone will tell me. This is kind of, it's nice and jolly. Lots of nice jolly music in the background. Now, what kind of game is this going to be? I mean, technically it can do action games. I mean, it'd be a bit ghosty because of the screen, but this looks a lot more like a kind of graphic novel style game, doesn't it? Which I'm guessing will be easier to do on these machines. Oh! No, it is. It's more like an RPG style thing. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of ghosting. I was expecting that. It's a low power LCD screen after all. Oh, that's kind of weird. You go through, you end up at the bottom. That's odd. Anyway. But yeah, that's a... Can we search stuff? No. But yeah, so it's interesting. So this is what I was saying with it being sort of like a console style thing as well. You do have games on. But let's try something else anyway. Let's try out the Tamagotchi. Right. Angel Mail Town. Okay. That noise at the end of every dialogue because These games tend to have a lot of dialogue. Oh, I think that's probably name. Okay. Oh, okay. We're going for. Right. Okay, that's fine. I don't know what that is. Oh, date of birth then, I assume. Okay. Don't know what. Yeah, that's fine. K9Y8. I wonder what that is. Is that some kind of code? Are we supposed to enter the code in there? No. I don't know what I just did, but it appears to have been enough. So this looks like it says looks like it's walking. So I'm going to go ahead and assume this is. Oh yeah, there we go. Another little RPG style thing. That's kind of cool. Oh, it literally is a town. You can just go around and buy stuff. That's interesting. I wonder if that means your Tamagotchi is you as a person then. I don't know which way I came, so I don't know how to get back to where I was beginning. But yeah, so they did go for kind of at least controllable things, so they weren't just like graphic novels. You could move stuff around, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I'll just turn this down. We'll let this play. We'll let this play in the background. It never gets silent. I've noticed that. It's always just quieter. I mean, it's an interesting one. There's a lot of different games we could have played, and I guess there's all the different. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit out of focus because we're set to the screen. There's all these different papers as well with different patterns on. So if I just take this one out, oh, there we go. It's unopened, look at that. So you can probably just about see the patterns there. There you go. And so yeah, it's all kind of very interesting, really. And yeah, like I said, these are available, and obviously similar things are available in lots of places, mostly by VTech. But I just feel that they seem to go all in, Bandai, with this in Japan. It just feels like it's more inventive than than the ones that I've seen elsewhere. Yeah, but it was fun. It's a fun little machine with lots of little additions. Right. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like. If you really enjoyed the video, please hit subscribe. If you didn't enjoy the video or you have something else to say, then please leave it in the comments below. And don't forget to hit the bell icon above so you can be told when any new videos are coming out. And if you want to get these videos early or get exclusive videos and exclusive posts and things like that, then please back us on Patreon. Every little bit helps us. See you next time.